All right, now we're moving on to the arm in guillotine. So the process is going to be the same, right? Like I want to try to make sure that I block the hips and move to the weak side. So basically this will usually more commonly happen off of a double leg. So we'll end up kind of here. And as long as I keep the arm that's in the guillotine, as long as I keep it fairly heavy, let's actually rotate the other way here. As long as I keep that fairly heavy and I prevent this leg from going over. So once we end up here, we'll be in the like defending the actual choke part. So before we get there, as I'm here and he's driving, I just want to make sure that I move my hips and my legs across while staying very heavy with my biceps towards this side, activating the end of the lever at the knee. All right, so that's our obvious first, like, no problem, we defended the position, we got into our passive position just like we want to. However, if we end up over here and the arm is in, the mechanism of choking is going to be to bring the forearm tight against my neck, the elbow's going to crunch, and he's going to start to rotate my shoulder into my neck, and that's going to choke me. So, same process as before. I want to strengthen my neck against the ground. I want to make sure that I'm hand fighting. If I feel like there's any pressure on the arteries, my hand is in. Again, grabbing the bone of the wrist. So I'm at the end of the lever, and I'm getting up off of my knees. Right? If I stay down here, even if I do all this, he can still start to crunch in, and I'm going to have a problem. So I'm driving my forehead into the mat. I'm up, and I'm trying to slide my shoulder up as high as I can. And let's rotate towards the camera here. What I'm also trying to do is anchor my shoulder. So I don't know if this is visible on camera, but my triceps, the back of my triceps, is blocking his wrist from pulling up.
It's solid.
If my arm is up here, I can be finished. So I'm placing my hand under his back, and I'm trying to drive some weight into my elbow. It's not quite on the ground, but I'm still trying to drive a little bit of compression, like I'm closing my lat. So I'm holding the wrist, so now I'm trying to perform Yeah,
no way. I think a big part of this, if I could just jump in for a second, that if they can't see it, feel it, is the closing on my hip here of his elbow and how he's tripod himself to direct this weight with his shoulder into my floating ribs and diaphragm. It makes breathing hard, and I can't feel like I can adjust my hips even slightly here. I'm having a hard time.
There you go. So once I've negated the submission, the submission, I've negated my alignment break. Right? He can't break my posture. My structure is good with my elbows, and I've got good base here. I can release the wrist grips, and I'm trying to apply the choke.
I still can't.
Yeah, so once I've adjusted all that, I no longer need to hand fight, and my right arm, let's turn back this way. So I no longer need to hand fight here. My right elbow can come in and start to bypass the guard, and you can see how I've turned his hips the other way. I've done that by bringing my hip against the end of the lever, still keeping my posture strong. I was being lazy there for a second, and I can even use my hand for additional base as I collapse him. The downside of this one is I can't just immediately arm triangle him like I would if we were in a high elbow guillotine situation. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work, usually bringing my shin above. So let's turn again.
Let's just show that redirection of the lever again.
So here, I keep my posture strong, my hip redirects, and then I try to come up and slide my shin over top. If he's opening his knee up towards me, right, then I'm going to move myself into the leg drag position, and I keep driving up. Stay in because I'm in the arm in position, this arm will have to come out first. I'll grip the shoulder, keeping my elbow tight. Now I can start driving through, and I'll effectively pass the guard. Might even get a back attack out of it. If we end up in the closed guard doing this, so let's just go here. The procedure is the same. I'm burying my shoulder, I'm burying my elbow, I'm hand fighting until I feel stable enough that I can let go. My elbow's gonna come in, and I'm gonna be trying to open the guard. You may not, in which case, just back out and face the closed guard. Which is gonna suck, but at least you didn't get guillotined. Now, the last part we sometimes talk about, which is rolling over. So if we're here and we end up getting knocked over, to there, we're effectively in like a mounted style guillotine. So let go. So we're gonna actually just go over that stuff in subsequent videos. Like we'll give you how to defend the mounted guillotine, whether it's high elbow or arm in later on. So as long as you are able to follow the procedure, block the hips, go across to the weak side, then you're great right off the bat. If you get stuck, it's really just an alignment battle. If you win that, you're okay.